Good evening and welcome to the 1987 VFL season, one that promises to be so different from all that have gone before it in the 90-year history of the Victorian Football League. When the league began in 1897, man was just coming out of the horse and cart era. It was a long trip from Richmond to Essendon to watch the Tigers take on the same olds, as they were then known. But now in the jet age, there are 14 teams in the competition, 4 states of Australia represented. The only 2 that aren't, South Australia and Tasmania, are traditional bastions of Australian football, and one suspects it won't be too long before they're involved in a truly national competition. And superficially, the face of football has changed in that ABC television is the carrier of the code around Victoria. Naturally, we're absolutely delighted about that, and we're thrilled with the response we've received since we found we'd won the rights just a fortnight ago. Well, tonight, on opening night 1987, it's the Brisbane Bears, appropriately one of the 2 new teams in the competition. The first 2 editions, I might say, since 1925, going in against North Melbourne, the last of the old lineup of VFL teams to finally break its duck and win a premiership just 12 years ago in 1975. No doubt the Bears are hoping that it won't take them 50 years like it took North Melbourne to finally win a VFL flag. But the build-up for them to 1987 has not suggested that they're going to do it in a hurry. A team hurriedly thrown together, and it appears that they might struggle in the early part. Well, with me, fresh out of the old-style VFL competition after 367 great games with Footscray and Fitzroy, and it's a great pleasure to introduce Brownlow medalist, leading goal kicker twice, one of the greats, Bernie Quinlan. Bernie, excited about sitting up here and watching it from on high?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Well, I think any time you come to the MCG when there's a game of Aussie rules football on, looking at the lights, it's a perfect night for football, and it certainly gets the adrenaline pumping.
You changed clubs, went from Footscray to Fitzroy and played your best football in the second half of your career.
Right.
You might have some idea of what it's going to be like for the Bears, where all of them really are at a brand new club.
Yeah, well, it's not easy to start off with, and as I was talking to Bernie Harris yesterday when the Bears were training here, and he said that the thing that he was finding most difficult was just settling himself in and playing with the other players that he hadn't played with ever before. So it's not an easy job for them, and I think it took me the best part of the 1978 season to get used to playing with the other players, the new players. So it may take the Bears a little while to settle down.
And their rivals, you've fought a lot of pitched battles against North Melbourne in recent years because Fitzroy and North were of about equivalent strength and usually fighting each other for a place in the 5. How do you rate them?
Yeah, well, I don't think North are up to the strength of previous years. With the loss of Glendinning and the key positions aren't looking all that strong at this stage, but you can't underrate North Melbourne. They've always been a good side. They've got good, quick running players with such as the Crackers, the Holts and those sort of players, and you know, they'll be up there. I don't know whether they'll be up with the best of them, but they'll be up there this year.
Well, can the Bears make a match of it tonight?
I think they will, with the inclusion of a couple of new players in Hardy and Mike Richardson, and they're both top players. They've played top football with their previous sides, Footscray and Collingwood. You know, that completely changes the complexion of the Bears side, and sometimes it only takes a couple of good players to get the mediocre players around them into a good team.
Who do you fancy?
Well, I fancy North Melbourne, mainly because they've played under the lights here at the MCG on numerous occasions, and the Bears' practice match form has been a little bit patchy up to this stage, so I'll stick with North Melbourne.
They certainly are the popular fancies on opening night 1987. Let's go to the first bounce.
Well, just a minute or 2 to go before the start of this most memorable evening, the Friday evening, the first match of what I think will be one of the most unusual football seasons the Victorian Football League's ever seen. And it started off on a high note with Brad Hardy, the man who cost the Brisbane Bears $270,000 for a transfer fee, is on the interchange bench. A clear indication that Peter Knights, the coach, doesn't feel he's up to 4 quarters of really tough football. But he's a magnificent player, will be a wonderful acquisition to the Bears. They need just a little bit of skill and class to be a good side. And this is the first touch of it when they get Brad Hardy, the Footscray champion, the Brownlow medalist, best and fairest for Footscray last year. Lovely Melbourne night. Deep over the top of the stand, it looks like smog. And umpires are Snedden and Sheehan. We're ready for the first bounce.
And the 1987 Victorian, or is it National Football League season, is underway. Micken to Williams, captain to vice-captain for the Bears, who race straight into attack. But repelled by the North Melbourne captain, Captain Courageous Schimmelbusch, to Jim Cracker on the wing. And the first roar of the season erupts. Some love him, some hate him. He is a great player. To half forward. Pressure on the Bears. They're going to face a lot of it early in this season. Dixon kicks to the wing, but there's Cracker again from forward of the wing. Wobbly old punt to half forward. Beyond. McDonald. In fact, it's Crocker up on the half forward line. Between half forward and full forward, only about 30 metres out. And as you can see, the angle not great. But a testing kick. He'll be nervous. Conditions absolutely perfect, so no problems with a slippery ball or a dewy surface. It should certainly be first score to North Melbourne. Darren Crocker, new number this year. Shocking kick. First score of the season is a behind. Kicked by the Roos. And Bernie Quinlan, I couldn't have imagined you missing that from there.
I've missed a few in the last couple of years from about that distance, Tim, so I can feel sorry for Crocker there. I know what he's going through.
Well, we wait now as the Brisbane Bears, through Mark Roberts, kicks it wide out looking for Mick, and with him is Mossop. Behind the markers, beautifully taken by German, I think, is Johnny Holt, the left footer, and kicks a beautiful one across. In front was Harris. Williams, strong and desperate, gets it out wide towards centre half back, and here comes O'Keefe. O'Keefe's in the centre of the ground for their first sally forward. Jim Edmund takes a beauty from a perfect pass from David O'Keefe. Well, here's an exciting piece of play for the Brisbane Bears. Edmund will kick from just about the 50-metre mark, and the ex-Footscray captain has got the opportunity to kick the first goal that the Brisbane Bears will ever register in a competition match, the first round. Here it is, right to the teeth of goal. No one can take it. It's punched out towards the boundary line. Running towards it was Bernie Harris. It's over the line, out of bounds.
So one scoring chance to each side in the opening moments. I thought Edmund might just about have made it from there. I remember seeing him kick 5 goals in a quarter for Footscray here at this ground. Mossop held high, no free kick. Law sturdy in defence, but out on the full. So a free kick to Bernie Harris, who doesn't mind a goal. An old teammate of Bernie Quinlan's.
Yeah, Bernie's very dangerous around goal, Tim, and he could be a big threat to put this one through, even though it's on a fairly acute angle.
Right on the boundary line in front of a very sparsely populated outer seating area there, and the crowd down. VFL hoping for about 20,000. I doubt that they've got it, despite perfect weather. Not a bad kick. Harris has done it. The Bears get their first goal in VFL football, and what a great start for them from the proverbial impossible angle. And they lead by 5 points after 3 minutes. In fact, on the electronic scoreboard, it took the Brisbane Bears 3 minutes and 10 seconds of major competition to post their first goal.